I didn't mean to frown on the children's part. I'm glad I have my children. I don't like to talk about my past just because I'm not as comfortable with it, and I'd rather live in the present. However, often the past and the present converge, and that's what happened recently. So I wanted to share this. I am going to just read it since I'm not comfortable just talking from my heart. I apologize. My faith journey. I'm recording my faith journey for myself and for others who can learn something from it, from my experiences, perhaps validation or inspiration for doing something different. It won't be in chronological order, and it may be hit and miss. Recently, I have been inspired by others who have publicly shared their stories, and this is why I'm making this YouTube video. Plus, I am boiling over with words and thoughts, and I want to get some of it out. I was a former member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints who met her husband at Brigham Young University, and we were married in the Salt Lake Temple. Approximately 5 years into our marriage, we started studying early church history and noticed changes within the mainstream church. We believed it was necessary to follow the original teachings restored by Mormon founder Joseph Smith and to live the fullness of the gospel. My faith journey took me out of the mainstream church into Mormon fundamentalism and continuing to follow and support my husband as he took another wife. I left Mormon fundamentalism many years ago, and I'm no longer a plural wife or a sister wife, or follow any man-made religion that minimizes who I am as a woman or as a person. For the last 25 years, my faith journey has been deconstructing much of my earlier belief system and figuring out who I really am, finding my own path. This has taken me considerable faith. Thus, my faith journey. It's not easy to walk away from temporal security, friends, and relatives, or be viewed as an enemy or as an apostate. None of my formal education can make up for what I've learned through the School of Hard Knocks. However, I do not wish my past experience and pain on anyone. Under normal circumstances, had I known better, I would have never traveled the same path. I certainly would have never placed another woman's hand in my husband's hand as a spiritual wife, believing this would be my pass to the celestial kingdom, or if I didn't do it, I would be destroyed. Instead, I kept on giving. I also have no regrets because this has been a personal journey, which has landed me exactly where I am today. And I'm grateful. Although I do not believe in religion and consider myself an agnostic atheist, whatever that means, or if there is such a thing as God and Satan, good and evil, I believe I have escaped the jaws of hell, an evil institution predicated upon much of what I am not. I recently listened to a Mormon Stories podcast that echoed some of my experiences unraveling Mormonism that led me to believe that many years ago that there was no way that Mormonism could be true if the story that I was taught as a small child about the plan of salvation and the war in heaven was true. In part, the plan of salvation story is based on the pre-existence, before we all came to the earth, and Heavenly Father choosing Christ's plan, which was predicated on allowing us to come to the earth and to get a body and to have free agency so that we could learn and grow. Whereas Satan's plan was focused on individuals doing good, doing what we were supposed to do so that everyone could make it back to heaven. As I came to learn and understand more about Mormonism, especially when living polygamy, I came to realize how controlling the Mormon religion and its leaders were, and how it fit right into Satan's paradigm of control instead of Christ's plan of love. One example that Gretchen used in her Mormon Stories podcast was about the contradiction between Christ's plan of free agency and Joseph Smith's story of an angel with a drawn sword who threatened Joseph if he did not comply. The angel story also helped me to realize that if God's plan is based on unconditional love and free agency, an angel nagging Joseph Smith at 3 different times to practice polygamy, and the last time visiting with a drawn sword, threatening destruction if he didn't obey, made no sense if Christ's plan of salvation is based on free agency. By today's standards, this story would be comparable to a terroristic threat or the insurrection of a bedroom, and it could be a sign of schizophrenia, a fantastical dream, or a made-up story to get support from others so a man could take virgins and build himself a kingdom on earth. Although interesting, I care less about what motivated Joseph Smith because I was not him, nor was I there during that time. I care more about how and why these types of stories continue to be promoted as fact, how this propaganda influenced me, and how disturbing it was to me as a child, a teenager, wife, and a mother. Deception is a way to control, or Satan's way. According to Mormon scriptures, he can appear as an angel in light. This includes information purposely hidden from me, from you, a church propagating lies, being told what I should and should not believe from male religious leaders, being shamed for asking questions or thinking differently, being judged harshly for being different, having a gag order placed on me, and the threat of a blood atonement hanging over my head like a drawn sword. This is not Christ's way. More accurate and available information, more options to choose from, and more support for who I am today is the path I live. I am going to include some references and citations at the bottom of this, and I hope that in time I get better. So, thank you very much.